Hello and welcome to another video, and today I'm doing a video review of one of my it's a surprise of 2022, one of my favorite games of 2022. I'll give you a quick spoiler at the head of this review. It will certainly be on my top 10 list of the year. It's going to be very high on that list, and that is the recently released Stray game, the kitty cat game that everybody's hyped about. So one of the reasons why I decided to upgrade and do the PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever the highest tier is, was when they announced that you could play Stray on this service day and date. Even though they said they weren't going to be doing these types of releases, I said, you know what, it was going to cost me an extra $40 to do that. So cutting the cost of Stray, which is a $30 digital game out, I paid an extra $10, and now I have that service till next April. I've actually had a lot of fun with the PlayStation Plus Premium service. There's a ton of games on there, and I think it's, in terms of games, I think it's a good answer to Game Pass, but it's going to be interesting in a couple of months if they can compete with Game Pass, especially in terms of new content, because I'll be honest, since it launched in June, they haven't added a lot of really cool new stuff outside of Stray. So this review is not about PlayStation Plus Premium, it's about Stray. So I fucking love this game. I really love this game. From the opening moments when you and your cats, are kind of just hanging out. It's like your kitty cat that you're going to play as, and then his buddies, they're all kind of strays that just hang out together. The beginning opening moments of the game were heartwarming. They were touching. I'm a huge cat person, as you guys will come to know during this review, or if you've watched this channel before in the past, you guys know I love cats. I own 3 cats of my own. I lost a cat last year to cancer. So, and I'll be honest, there's a part at the end of this game that really hit me hard. I'm gonna try not to tear up, because I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. Like, I was bawling. I'm not gonna mince words. I literally was in tears at the end of this game. So it hit me really hard. And I'll explain why when we get there. I'm gonna bawl right now just even thinking about it. But I'll talk about it briefly. But so what is Stray? Stray, basically, you're playing as a stray kitty cat in a cyberpunk world. There's a very interesting story, and I think people going into this game that thought it was just going to be a kitty cat game where you're playing around with this cat doing stupid shit and getting into cat, problems. It's not that game. There's a very big narrative here. It is told incredibly well in a cyberpunk setting. But what I mean by that is it's a futuristic setting where you are dealing with a world which is inhabited by robots that clearly have been implanted with human memories, which is a big part of this game. This game's narrative is surprisingly deep in a way that I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting this stupid little kitty cat game, but I wasn't expecting it to be as narratively rich as it turned out to be, which was a real surprise for me. The opening hours of the game, and the game is very short, and I think that's probably the biggest complaint most people are going to have about it. It is like about a 5-hour run, and while a lot of people are complaining about that, I think that's one of its biggest strengths, because it never outstays its welcome. I was smiling from ear to ear through most of the game if I wasn't crying at the end. It is just unbelievable how good this game is. I'm so stunned. I was hooked. It's what I would say is I could have flown through this game in one sitting. I purposely took a couple days off in between because I didn't want it to end. I had that much fun with this game. Just playing as a cat, and running around, doing the stuff a cat would do, jumping up on different things, not getting a paper bag stuck on your head, just the stupid things. Like, that part of the game obviously is charming in its own ways, but just playing as this character, after a little while, you get separated. Basically, what happens at the beginning of the game, you unfortunately get separated from your pack. And then the cat it was kind of like, hey, he's going to try and get back to them. But you follow this other path with this story where you meet up with a robot pal who can kind of decipher what you're saying with your meows versus what the robots are saying. And then you kind of get involved in this larger narrative where you realize in this world that it's only robots. There were humans, but the humans no longer remain. And there's kind of an alien force that has taken over so much. They're called like Zergs or something. I want to say they were called Zergs. They are just these little, like, they look like if you were ever to take a picture of a bed bug and blow it up with a magnifying glass. That's what they look like. They look really weird. They can attack and kill you really fast. You do unlock something to combat them later on, but for the most part, there's a couple chase sequences with them. You don't run into them as much as you would think, but the Zerg are kind of what took over the human race, as you'll learn at the end of this game. Spoilers, I should say at the beginning of this review, spoilers throughout this review. There's no way to talk about this game without just spoiling what it is. What this game boils down to at the end of it is it goes from being a narrative story where the cat's trying to maybe get back to his pack to he's helping this robot that robot buddy you're helping you. He's like a floating head, basically. You're helping him basically open up the world. The whole thing is they want you to get to the surface. Everybody's trying to get to the surface because that's going to help everything. The whole city that you're in has been in lockdown. When you get to that point, and it's a fair. I found the length to be just perfect. When you get to that point at the end, you do get to do that. You get to see that happen, and I'll talk about the end of the game in a minute. There's also a considerable stealth element to this game that's very interesting, very Metal Gear Cat, as I like to call it, but it works. That's the thing. I wouldn't say it felt like a tacked on stealth mechanic. It actually felt really good. There's a couple instances of that I think were really good, especially there's a whole jail sequence I thought was really well done. A lot of interesting puzzles in this game. It's so charming. That's the biggest thing I'll take away from the game. It's so charming. So I highly recommend it. Let me talk about the end of the game, and then I'll give you my score on this game. But let me talk about the end and what it means to me. As you can see, I have a guest here. This is my cat, Frankie. He's not really cooperating, but I wanted to bring him in this video because I think it helps illustrate what touched me about the end of this game. I think more than anybody else, as he's going to jump around and probably mess around in my office that he never gets to be in. So, the hard thing about the end of this game, and this is what I'll explain to you guys. Frankie here behind me recently, as of February this year, so a couple months ago, he has cancer. Unfortunately, he has cancer at some point. You know, the cancer is going to catch up with him, but my girlfriend and I are very fortunate because of the veterinary practice that she works at. He's getting the best care that he can. But I know, as I know with all animals, our time is short. I'm really going to try to get through this without bawling. The end of this game, your robot buddy, and again, huge spoilers, he thought his whole journey was he needed to translate his memories, his human memories, so that other people can remember. But he realizes as he's opening the city doors that it basically corrupts his robot and is going to kill him. So there's a really touching scene where he basically says thank you, and he dies, or his robot dies or whatever. And the cat comes down, kind of has a cry, you know, a little meow, tearful meow, and then just sits down next to him. And as somebody who just went through that last year with one of my cats, Alucard, dying, and knowing that his time is limited, seeing the other side of that, you know, the cat mourning the person, in this case a robot, really hit me hard. And it really, really, really hit me hard. And in an emotional way that I was not expecting out of this game. So, My hat's off to the people that made this game. Thank you so much for making a making a kitty cat game that resonated with me, you know. It really just resonated with me, and it was really touching and moving in a way that I wasn't expecting at all. And because I know my time's limited with Frankie, more so than my other two cats, it really hit me hard, really, really hard. So I wouldn't normally talk about the end of a game like that, but because it had such an emotional impact on me, I needed to do that. I needed to bring him in and talk about that. What am I going to give? What am I giving this score for Stray? I'm giving it an A. I loved the game from front to back. I actually want to get a physical copy to have for my collection. I will at some point because I know it's going to be rare. Because most people play this game digitally. For me, it's a huge front runner for Game of the Year. We'll see if that changes, but for right now, it's a fantastic top tier game. I highly recommend it. I cannot stress enough how good this game was, how it hit me. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video review. I hope you made it through without watching me, you know, a 30-something-year-old guy tearing up about a kitty cat game, but it spoke to me. So, hope you guys remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.